Hey, this is Dave, Homes by Sergeant Dave. Today we're going to talk about pre-approval. What is it? Why is it important? And what is it you're going to need to be pre-approved? Let's check it out. Hey everyone, this is Dave, Homes by Sergeant Dave. Welcome back. Today I'm at Blue Star Lending with my good friend Kevin Dawson.
Good morning.
And today we're going to talk about pre-approval and what's involved. And I want you to hear it from the person who's going to do it. Not just from me, but someone who knows why it's important. So, hey, if you're here on this channel, you're here about real estate specifically for the Sacramento area. So give me a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, get your regular stuff coming out. It's going to be fun, different, and hopefully very helpful. Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me. And I thought, I know we talked about doing these videos, and I thought we'd just jump in and I'd ask you, what is pre-approval? Because I think a lot of people just don't understand what pre-approval is. So
yeah.
What's pre-approval?
Well, so what we're looking at is we want to get an idea of what your qualifications are as a borrower, right? There's a difference between being pre-qualified and pre-approved, right? A pre-qualification is just like, yeah, you have a person who says they have a 720 FICO and they make $8,000 a month, and here's what you could qualify for. A pre-approval is peace of mind, right? We want to look at exactly what your qualifications are as a borrower, right? You want peace of mind as the buyer. You want peace of mind for your real estate agents and for the seller, right? That you've done everything necessary to make sure that you're qualified, right? So we're going to take a look at income documents. We're going to take a look at your credit. We're going to take a look at a bunch of different things to make sure that you're ready to go, right? That you've done everything needed to make sure that we can get you qualified on your loan.
And that's the stuff that becomes that first step, knowing where you can buy and what you can afford to buy. It's no sense trying to buy a Porsche when you can only afford a Hyundai. So, Kevin, we talked about what it is to get pre-approved, but why is it so important from the buyers and the lenders' standpoint to get that pre-approval before getting out there and actively pursuing purchasing property?
Okay. So, we talked a little bit about the peace of mind piece, right? We want to make sure that you're set to go and that everybody has some kind of idea that you're ready to go. But then also it's about saving time and money, right? The escrow process and shopping for a home can be very time consuming, right? For you and for the agents involved. So you want to make sure that you're investing that time well and that you're pre-approved, meaning that you have some assurance that the loan is actually going to go through when the time comes, right? You're going to get into an escrow period where like your contract's accepted, and then you're anywhere from like maybe 20 to 30 days on that process alone. So it could be a couple months of looking for a home, and then it could be another month on top of that with actually going through the escrow process. So, right, you want to save as much time as possible in doing that and making sure that you're ready. Then also saving money too, right? Because you're going to invest a decent amount of money driving people somewhere. You as the buyer is going to invest in inspections and appraisals and things of that nature. So you want to make sure that everything you're investing into this in terms of time and money is well spent.
Perfect. Yeah. So would pre-approval, you obviously is going to help somebody being pre-approved if you're already looking at properties and you find the one that you really want. If you pre-approved, it's going to be a much smoother process to try to get that home than if you were not, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of nuances to people's finances in relation to a mortgage. This isn't applying for a credit card or an auto loan where they just say, yep, all right, you've got a 720 FICO and you make $10,000 a month. Great, you're set for this amount, right? There's a lot of federal regulations and bank regulations associated with doing a mortgage loan. So you want to make sure that you line up with all those regulations, those guidelines, and you're ready to go.
Perfect. Thanks. Kevin, what do buyers need to know about what's involved and what's needed from their end to make this pre-approval process happen?
All right, so now we go into kind of the more boring part, but obviously the most important part, which is actually gathering the paperwork and the application, right? So first step is always like take a look at your application first. get kind of a feel for what you put in there, and then see how your credit report lines up with the information in the application, right? Because there's a lot of things that we have to look at on the application and on the credit report to make sure that your loan is within guidelines. Then the next thing to do is to then double check that again by taking a look at the income documents, right? So unfortunately, you got to get some income documents, and that is definitely the least fun for people. But you can just send them all via email, or we have an online portal. You can send everything, and you just get things like income documents, which would be tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, things of that nature. So we can just, again, double check everything, make sure the numbers line up, ask clarifying questions if we need to, right? Because this is exactly what an underwriter is going to check on. So we definitely don't want to have any surprises when we get to that escrow period that we were talking about. And then on top of that, we even run it through like what's called an automated underwriting system. So once we have all the information verified, we run it through an additional layer of checks to make sure that everything lines up with exactly the guidelines and the regulations we were talking about earlier, and that the bank will actually accept your loan when the time comes. So again, everything leaning towards that peace of mind, that saving time, that saving money. That's the final step. Like once we've done everything, is to make sure that you're set to go. And then that way, when the time comes to actually get you into contract on a house, that escrow period we were talking about, the selling agent knows that you've done everything necessary to be a qualified buyer.
Perfect. What's the best way to get a hold of you to ask more questions about this process or to get started?
All right. Well, what you could do is we have some information back here, so you can visit us on our website. My phone number is listed here. And then you can also email me, which is not listed there, but it's just basically kevin@bluestar-lending.com. And I'd be happy to help you out with any questions you may have.
You'll find a link to connect with their contact page at the bottom of this video. Reach out when you have a chance. Get yourself pre-approved. I'm your real estate warrior. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring that bell, get a lot more good information about the home buying process, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for checking out the video.
Take care.